Welcome to Nugget 96 with Steve Groman. Today we're going to talk about the Odessa Meteor Crater. We have actually been out to this crater twice. First time was a long time ago, and then we just went when we were out in Odessa, and it's located on the southwest side of town. It's quite an interesting place, isn't it?
It certainly is. A little bit boring, maybe.
A little bit boring?
We like to see these kind of things. It's a phenomenon from out of this world. It formed 62,000 years ago by material from outer space.
Ooh, that sounds exciting.
It does. Read some of this.
The earliest known discovery of the crater was made in 1892 by Julius Henderson, a nearby rancher. For many years, it was believed to be a blowout hole caused by gas trapped below the surface of erupting due to pressure. That sounds reasonable, doesn't it?
Well, there's a whole lot of underground oil and gas.
Absolutely. In the 1920s, D. Morrow Barringer, whose father identified and owned the famous Barringer meteorite crater in Arizona, and Dr. E. H. Sellards of the University of Texas recognized the depression as a meteorite crater. From 1939 through 1941, Dr. Sellards and Mr. Glenn Evans, also with the University of Texas, directed scientific studies and extensive excavation of the crater, which is very evident today. This work ceased with the outbreak of World War II, and it talks how the land was given to the Texas and Pacific Railroad for building of a rail line, and then back in 1979, the crater site was donated by the Texas Pacific Land Trust to Ector County.
Meteor craters are among the rarest and most interesting of land features. Astrophysicists have observed the source of meteoric bodies which strike our Earth originate within the solar system, probably from the asteroidal belt located between the planets of Mars and Jupiter.
Probably.
Yeah, probably not.
I don't know how they call this some of the most interesting land features. As you can tell from these pictures, this is not a very exciting place at all. It is interesting that the Odessa crater is the second largest recognizable crater recognized in the United States. The largest is the Arizona crater. The Odessa crater is approximately 500 feet across and was originally 100 feet deep. Wind and rain have filled it up over the centuries until it is now only about 15 feet deep. That is why it doesn't seem very exciting as displayed in these pictures that we have taken. The Arizona crater is 4,000 feet across and 500 feet deep. And maybe in a different nugget we'll talk about that Arizona one and their, what is it, lounge chair sized meteor?
Right. It goes on, the Odessa crater and 4 smaller craters were formed in prehistoric time when a great shower of nickel-iron meteorites collided with the Earth. Let's just think about that first sentence. First off, there's no such thing as prehistoric. There's no such thing as anything before the creation, which was only a few thousand years ago, and that's been confirmed. We've covered that in several nuggets. The Bible says that, and thy word is truth. Everything has to fall within that range. But they say this thing is estimated, this event, about 62,000 years ago. There was no such thing as 62,000 years ago.
A lot of times, we're all looking at the same evidence, but they have to put these enormous times on them because they have to push it way past what creationists say.
Notice what it says. The shower was composed of many thousands of individual meteorites of various sizes, which fell over an area of about 2 square miles. I would have a question. How can thousands of meteorites fall only in an area 2 square miles, but yet the crater is only 500 feet across? That means this area was hit by rapid fire, machine gun fire of meteorites of some sort, or asteroids. That doesn't make any sense. That's illogical.
Let's look at a definition of meteorites, and so we know what we're talking about. From dictionary.com, meteor, in astronomy, a meteoroid that has entered the Earth's atmosphere. A transient fiery streak in the sky produced by a meteoroid passing through the Earth's atmosphere. A shooting star or bolide. We do see shooting stars, so when we see a shooting star, these astronomers are calling this a meteoroid?
Correct.
Is that how to follow
correct.
that?
That is what they're saying.
And then they have a meteoroid, any of the small bodies, often remnants of comets, traveling through space. When such a body enters the Earth's atmosphere, it is heated to luminosity and becomes a meteor.
Of course, this is just speculation. I mean, there's absolutely no way to confirm that that is true. That's what they believe to be. How about asteroid?
Also called minor planet in astronomy. Any of the thousands of small bodies of from 480 miles to less than 1 mile in diameter that revolve about the sun in orbits lying mostly between those of Mars and Jupiter. Okay, so they've got all these little bitty planets spinning around.
Well, they do call them that, but people think of the word planet. They think of a planet. It's pretty much a round ball of sorts, right? But these
just
things
a rocky structure.
Yes, or gaseous, they say. But these things can be very, very oddly shaped, big time oddly shaped.
I was noticing that asteroid, the first part of the word is aster, which a lot of us think of an aster as a plant from Online Entomology Dictionary. Aster, flower genus 1706 from Latin aster, which means star, from Greek aster. The root is stir, which means star, so called for the radiant heads of the flowers, originally used in English in the Latin sense, but this is obsolete. And then it talks about how the root word means star, which is very interesting. We get our words like asterisk, asteroid, astrobiology, astrolabe, astrology, and astroturf. Yeah, go Houston.
But also stardust.
So that's interesting. It all just goes back to the word star.
Correct.
We went to the Strong's Concordance and found the Greek aster, and it says probably from the base of G4766, a star, as strewn over the sky, literally or figuratively. Star.
Well, God did not strew them over the sky, but he certainly placed them. He set them all in the sky, in the firmament.
Meteor craters are among the rarest and most interesting of land features. Astrophysicists have observed the sources of meteoric bodies which strike our Earth originate from our solar system. And here are a few pictures from out there during our visits, a few shots of inside the visitor center. These pictures are from a long time ago, and here are some of the meteorites that they found out there. The visitor center was closed down because of COVID this time, so we weren't able to go in, and that's why we're showing you some of these old pictures. The Odessa meteor crater was formed in prehistoric time when a great shower of nickel-iron meteorites collided with the Earth. Geologists estimate that the time of the meteor fall was at least 50,000 years ago.
Now, let me say something about that. Now, this sign that's at the place says 50,000 years ago. Of course, the brochure says 62,000 years ago. But that's an enormous amount of time difference. You know, when you're talking 10,000 years plus, that's a lot of time difference. See, they don't know any of this, and so they're just speculating. We've seen this all the time where we'll have one location and we'll have 4, 5, 6 different times given, sometimes more drastic than 12,000 years.
You are now entering the main crater, formed by the explosive impact of tons of meteoric material from outer space. This crater is the entire depression you see before you, being almost 600 feet in diameter, originally 100 feet deep. It is filled with sand and dirt to within 6 feet of the surrounding plain. Again, some inconsistencies. Well, I see that we have a whole lot to say. We are going to stop right here and continue on with Odessa Meteor Crater in our next nugget. Thank you. Please tell your friends and family about our YouTube channel and our Facebook pages. These nuggets are to encourage you and encourage your family and encourage your walk with God. As you know, we are normally in churches presenting our seminar. Because of COVID, we have been derailed greatly. If you are blessed by these nuggets and could become a monthly partner with us, that would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.